Hello, and now it's time to go over Joseph being in charge. Each. So, old Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring from his finger and put it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in robes of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. Now, here's the thing about a gold chain. That is considered the highest medal you can get. It's like the Congressional Medal of Honor or something like that. So this is a really big deal. He had him ride in chariots as second in command. Here's something else. So this proves that it took place around the Hyksos dynasty, because before that, the Egyptians didn't have chariots. They didn't. Not at all. I know, like, a lot of early daters of the Exodus want to believe this took, like, way back in time, and maybe even some Seventh-day Adventists. Oh, the pyramids are where Joseph stored all the grain. The Egyptians didn't even have chariots when the pyramids were being built, so no, not at all. Yeah. Not even close. The Egyptians just didn't have chariots. And the men shouted before him, make way. Okay, one of the reasons they didn't have chariots because the Egyptian native horse was weak, had a very weak back. What the Hyksos did, they brought in other horses, bred them with the native Egyptian horse, and made a way better horse. So thus he put him in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, but without your word no one will lift a hand or foot in all of Egypt. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zaphenath-Paneah and gave him Aneth, daughter of Parphar, not the same Parphar, of course, because one was a high priest, priest of On, the priest of On, that's a very big position. The other was captain of the god. And yes, more than one person can share the same name. Yeah, that happened back then. Why wouldn't it? Like, so when they okay, we're giving you this quality because that's what the name means. So do you think multiple people would want the same quality in their kid to be his wife? And Joseph went throughout the land of Egypt. So Joseph is bringing a Gentile into the fold. Also, please, because it's with the Hyksos, and the native Egyptians tried to destroy as much of a record about the Hyksos dynasty, don't try looking for Joseph. It's probably not going to work very well. There's just one person who's like, this is clearly Joseph. First thing, it can't be because, the whole chariot thing. Secondly, there's the problem of this person clearly was a worshiper of a pagan deity. Of an Egyptian pagan deity. Even built the temple and bragged of how great his temple he built was. And had images of himself at the temple so he could be worshipped alongside his deity. Yeah, that guy's not Joseph. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So, 30. He was 17 at the beginning of this story. That's 13 years. Joseph spent 13 years of his life in a foreign land. and in prison 13 years. Wow. And Joseph went out from Pharaoh's presence and traveled throughout Egypt. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food produced in those 7 years of abundance in Egypt and stored it in the cities. Food. Extra food. Who got what they need. And stored it in the cities. In each city he put the food ground in the fields surrounding it. And these were mud brick buildings. Not pyramids. No, pyramids were for body. Then there were these other people who said, these holes. It's like, no, rats, scorpions, all sorts of things would get in that hole, and that's not even bringing up the point that it's really freaking hot down there, and all the food would be ruined. You put them in mud brick silos. Joseph stored up huge quantities of grain, like the sand of the sea. It was so much that he stopped keeping record of it because it was beyond measure. Okay. Before the years of famine came, 2 sons were born to Joseph by Anitha, daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. Joseph named the firstborn Manasseh and said, "It is because God has made me forget all my trouble and all my father's household." The second son he named Ephraim and said, "It is because God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering." The 7 years of abundance in Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph has said. So yeah, the crops start failing. The Nile's drying up. There was a famine in all the other lands, but in the whole land of Egypt there was food. When all Egypt began to feel the famine, the people cried out to Pharaoh for food. Then Pharaoh told all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph and do what he tells you." Okay. When the famine had spread over the whole country, Joseph opened the storehouses and sold grain. So he's selling the grain. Not giving them free, no, he's selling it. Grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout Egypt. All the countries came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was so severe in all the world. Now, here's actually an interesting verse. This helps disprove the Bible teaches a flat earth. You know why it helps prove the Bible does not teach a flat earth? Because did China come to buy grain from Joseph? Did the Native American tribes? Did sub-Saharan Africans? No. Did Pacific Islanders? No. Obviously, this is talking about, like, the land around Egypt. Also, yes, why not believe that Joseph story is true? Oh, because it's propaganda. Propaganda? Wait, the kingdom of Judah lasted longer. Wouldn't, the kingdom of Judah rewrite this story to make it Judah? Like, not only am I rightfully king of you, I'm also rightfully king of Egypt. Or something? Come on, think atheist, please. Anyway, we actually do know where On is. It's been accepted as... You know what? Probably should. Settings. Turn off. Dang. We actually do know where it is. It is Heliopolis. I'm just using Wikipedia for pictures. Like, see, there's an obelisk and map. Map. There's where it is. Now on. I guess I can give you a better look through GeoHack where it would be in map. Yeah, right around there. See, there's a mosque up there. There's KFC. Just keep on zooming out. Mustard? Anyway, it's north of Cairo. Actually, yeah, there's even a little there. Heliopolis. Heliopolis. It's right next to Cairo International Airport. Cairo, New City. Tenth of Ramadan City. Why are these names Egypt? Anyway, here's a Heliopolis, of course, on the east side of the Nile. Now, On was a major cult site of Amun-Re, who is a prominent Egyptian god who was the central figure in the story of the creation of the universe. So yes, when I say the priest of On wouldn't have been the measly captain of the guard, he wouldn't. This was a major deity. You know Ray. This falcon-headed guy. Also, for some reason, hey, is a bullhead sometimes. Sometimes there's birds, sometimes scarab. Again, just using Wikipedia for pictures. Hey, but you know Adam, which does not mean a man. Two different words. Yes, this guy who was also a major Egyptian deity. So Joseph married the daughter of a major Egyptian deity's priest. So first thing, no, this Potiphar cannot be the same Potiphar as, well, you know, the other Potiphar. The captain of the guard Potiphar, the earlier story Potiphar, because that's a massive role difference. A really big role difference. Also, because, oh yeah, you wouldn't have two jobs like that in Egypt. No. Now, some people might say, see, this is where he got the idea of, no. This does not prove anything about where the Israelite religion comes from. I'm just sharing you historical facts. But yes, Joseph brings in a Gentile woman into the fold of Israel. So, next time, Joseph is going to meet his brothers. How well do you think that's going to go? See you then.